So let's dive into an idea that feels like it's straight out of science fiction. But honestly, it might be a lot closer than any of us think. What if the key to landing your next job wasn't something you put on your resume, but something you put inside your head?
You know, when we hear about neural interfaces or brain chips, our minds usually go to these amazing medical stories, right? Helping people walk again, restoring sight is a really powerful and frankly compassionate story. But what if that story is just the Trojan horse for something way bigger, something that's driven less by medicine and a whole lot more by economics?
So this is the big idea we're exploring today. The story we get sold is all about medical miracles. But the real driver, the argument goes, won't be happening in a hospital. It's going to be happening in the office. The prediction is that this tech becomes a must-have tool for older workers who are just trying to fight off ageism and stay competitive. So it's not really about curing an illness, it's about securing a job.
Okay, so how on earth could an idea as wild as chipping employees ever become, normal? Well, to get our heads around that, we need a really useful mental model from political science. It's called the Overton Window.
Think of the Overton Window like this. It's the spectrum of ideas that society is willing to talk about and accept at any given moment. Anything outside that window, that's the stuff we call unthinkable or totally radical. But, and this is the most important part, that window is not stuck in place. It can be shifted. And over time, ideas that once seemed absolutely crazy can become totally mainstream policy.
And this is the path an idea usually takes. It starts off as unthinkable. Then it moves to radical, then acceptable, then reasonable, popular, and boom, eventually it becomes policy. So now let's use this roadmap to trace the potential journey of neural implants along this very same path.
All right, let's walk through these 6 steps to normalization. And remember, the core argument here is that this whole journey won't be led by doctors in white coats, but by the relentless, day-to-day pressures of the job market.
Right now, we're pretty much here, in stage 1, unthinkable. The idea of putting a chip into a perfectly healthy person just to make them better at their job? It sounds completely dystopian, right? Totally unethical. It's a Black Mirror episode, plain and simple. It is way outside the window.
But then you get the first little nudge. Stage 2, radical. Imagine pilot programs starting up, maybe in countries with really aging populations. And look at the branding. They're not called performance enhancers. No way. They're for neuro-assisted elderly employees. The stated goal is just to help with memory, with processing speed. It's all about support.
And this is how you sell it. This quote absolutely nails the framing. It's not about corporate control, it's about social justice. It's about fighting ageism. Who's going to argue with giving experienced people a fair shot to compete? It makes a radical idea feel compassionate.
And that brings us to the critical turning point, stage 3, acceptable. This is where public opinion really starts to shift. The language changes. It's no longer a scary experiment. Now it's about fairness. The implant gets reframed as a reasonable accommodation, just like providing an ergonomic chair or a special keyboard to help level the playing field.
And this is the kind of kitchen table logic that makes the whole thing feel okay. It takes this abstract, scary technology and makes it personal and emotional. See, it's not about creating cyborgs, it's about helping a family member stay on the job and keep their dignity. And when you put it like that, it starts to sound, well, pretty reasonable.
So then we hit stage 4, reasonable. And at this point, the conversation moves from the family dinner table into the corporate boardroom. All that soft, compassionate language starts to fade away. Now it's all about economic imperatives. It's not about helping people anymore, it's about maximizing human capital. And this quote just shows you the cold, hard business logic that takes over. The justification isn't about dignity anymore, it's about a duty to shareholders. From a pure bottom-line perspective, not using a technology that boosts the productivity of your most experienced people could actually start to look like irresponsible management.
From there, things move fast. We're at stage 5, popular. The tech is now everywhere and the whole perception flips. Suddenly, not having an implant is the disadvantage. It could even become a status symbol of successful aging, proof that you're still sharp, still relevant. And then the big financial players get involved, insurers, pension funds, creating all kinds of incentives to get augmented.
And this is exactly what that social pressure sounds like. It turns the decision into a personal responsibility. To opt out is to risk being left behind, or worse, becoming a burden.
I mean, that is an incredibly powerful psychological force pushing people to say yes.
And all of that leads to the final stage, policy. The Overton window has now completely shifted. Now, there might not be a direct law that says you must get an implant, but it becomes a de facto requirement. Refusing one becomes like refusing to use a computer for an office job today. You just can't do the work. You might even see tax breaks for augmented employees to encourage it.
Now, here's maybe the most clever part of this whole process, the thing that makes it all work. It will never, ever feel like the government is forcing you. It will always be presented as your personal choice. Just think about the smartphone. In theory, you have a choice. Nobody is forcing you to own one. But in reality, come on, try applying for a job, doing your banking, or just getting around a new city without one. It's basically impossible. The system is built around it. And that's the argument here. It would be the same kind of coercive choice.
So this whole journey, from unthinkable to policy, it isn't just some sci-fi thought experiment. It really forces us to look in the mirror and confront a very real question, not just for us as individuals, but as leaders, as innovators, as a society.
So that's what we're left with. Is the world we're building one where technology truly sets an aging population free? Or is it one where, to survive economically, they're forced to trade their own autonomy for a paycheck? The answer to that isn't going to be decided in some futuristic lab. It's being decided right now in boardrooms and in the hiring decisions we all make every day. Thanks for thinking it through with me.